Hey guys, my name is Jessica Davidson. I'm here to talk to you today about Daniel James White and the Twinkie defense. Dan White was born in '46 in California. He was a Vietnam vet. He then went on to become a police officer, later on a firefighter in the city of San Francisco. Dan White in 1977 was appointed to the Board of Supervisors when he was 32 years old. Here's a picture of Dan. Also in 1977, the Board of Supervisors elected Harvey Milk to be a member. He was the first openly gay member of the board. Just picture Harvey Milk. Now, the salary of a supervisor was only about $9,600. Daniel White said that that was not enough. His wife had to work long hours, fast food places, stuff like that, for a comfortable salary for the two of them to support them and their kids. So on November 10th, after starting to have depression, White put in a letter to the board saying that he did not want to be a member anymore. On November 13th, that letter was formally filed, and November 14th, White decided that he did want to stay on the board. He went and talked to the mayor, Mayor George Moscone, and Moscone said that there was nothing that he could do about it because the letter was already formally filed and that White could only succeed himself. So that's what White tried to do. On November 15th, the mayor said that he was going to reappoint White. On November 18th, the mayor said that he had to think about it. He wasn't sure if that was a wonderful idea. So come November 26th, White got a call from a TV reporter at his house saying that he was not reelected, and 11 o'clock the next morning he was going to find out who was. White had no idea about this, no idea about the changes. So on November 27th, White went and he went to City Hall and he got a gun and he went to Moscone's office and shot him 4 times in close range, 2 times in the head, 2 times in the chest. Then he went and found Milk. He shot Milk 5 times, 3 times to the body, 2 times to the back of his head. He went to a church where he met his wife. He told his wife what had happened. He said that he felt Milk was using him as a scapegoat and there was a game being played between the two of them, that he was just being hung out to dry. So him and his wife went and told the police what had happened. He turned himself in. He told the police that he was under economic, political, and family stress. He was charged with premeditated murder, and he would have faced a life sentence and the death penalty if he was convicted of it. But during a trial, there was 5 expert witnesses on the stand. White did not testify at all. One of the expert witnesses, a psychiatrist, the most important on this case was Dr. Martin Blinder. His testimony led to the term the Twinkie defense. He supported the diminished capacity defense that White was using. He said that White suffered from a manic depressive disorder that dated back to White's adolescence. He said that during spells of the depression and anxiety that he had poor eating habits, and during the spells of the poor eating he became withdrawn and lethargic. Blinder said that the more junk food that White ate, the worse he felt, and that the consumption of junk food was not only a symptom, but it was also a major factor in his moods. There was a quote that said, Blinder commented that too much sugar can affect the chemical balance in the brain and worsen depression, but he did not blame the crime on bad diet. Rather, he offered that junk food was proof that of White's mental state. In other words, Twinkie consumption was an effect rather than the cause of White's problems. The verdict took 6 days, and the jury concluded that White did no premeditation for this. The jury decided to charge White with 2 counts of voluntary manslaughter. So White had no death penalty. He got rid of the life sentence. He was not charged with 1st or 2nd degree murder. For Moscone, White was sentenced to the max term allowed that was under the California manslaughter law. It was 4 years, and then he got another 2 years for enhancement, and that was for using a firearm. For Milk, White was sentenced to 1 year and then an 8-month enhancement for using a gun. They were consecutive terms. For the 2 homicides, it amounted to 7 years and 8 months in jail. He was put on parole in 1984. There was riots that started after this called the White Night Riots. It started with the members of the gay community. They were outraged for the slap on the wrist that was the sentence. There was hundreds of community members. They marched, they rioted through the streets, they were burning police cars, but not many people, thankfully, were hurt. They were writing "No Justice, No Peace." So ultimately, the California eliminated the diminished capacity defense. For the case theories, bad eating habits, they said, led to depression and different mood changes, which could lead, obviously, to harmful effects. There wasn't too much evidence of that fact. There was just a few case studies that Blinder brought in that linked sugar to moodiness and violence. The critical evaluation I put was that I don't believe that he should have gotten off so easily. I think that he murdered 2 people and he should have had a harsher sentence, but the system at that time lacked. And the implications, like, this can refine laws for the future. They could look back at these trials to see what had happened and make sure that things like this don't ever happen again. Here's some of the newspapers for the Twinkie defense that was led up after. Also, after all of that happens, Blinder was stabbed by one of his former wives, who then went to kill herself. Also, after this, a few years after White was let out of prison on parole, he went and he killed himself by carbon monoxide poisoning in his own garage. And that's it. So thank you for listening. Bye.